Michael here with Dalton, and we just wrapped a marathon edit session for a creator batch that left us thinking about the current state of video. A ton of feedback poured in this week, so we thought we would riff on the reality of the short-form engine for a few minutes. Let's be honest, creators are wildly confused about how the whole short-form ecosystem actually functions. Right now, they see quick snippets online and assume they can just chop up a long video and magically go viral on TikTok. But the reality of that process is significantly messier and much more technical than most people lead you to believe. You talk to people and they say they have watched all the tutorials, yet they are still missing the bigger picture. Most of those tutorials are just the tip of the iceberg, failing to address the true complexity of content creation. Creators are constantly surprised by how many moving parts there are, like highlight detection and platform-specific captioning. There is also the headache of platform specs, posting cadence, cross-posting, and the constant stress of calendar chaos. Most folks assume that professional editing tools are just a fancy pair of digital scissors. They have absolutely no idea there is an entire pipeline behind the scenes that decides whether a clip actually gains traction. One creator told me they thought the whole editing process was just a single weekend of work. They figured they could cut 3 clips, hit schedule, and be done with the entire production cycle. Then they landed in reality, where it took 2 days just to find the right timestamps and highlights. There was also a ton of back and forth on titles and captions, which really ate into their creative time. Then they had to juggle platform-specific sizes, and the worst part was posting at the wrong time with zero consistency. They simply did not realize how much leverage good automation can provide for a busy creator. And here is the wild part. A lot of these creators got sold the wrong story by other tools or agencies. Some of them spent thousands for editing support and just got a Google Drive full of clips they never used. Or they hired a freelancer who took forever and missed the moment the clip would have actually had a shot to go viral. That is exactly why this whole space feels like a minefield for new creators. The marketing out there is confusing on purpose to catch people off guard. Some companies paint themselves as a one-stop shop for strategy, editing, and influencer hookups. But when you dig, it is either super expensive or the features are incredibly thin. You might get trimming, but no help finding the actual golden moments in a long 90-minute stream. Or the scheduler exists, but it is clunky and does not actually post reliably across platforms. People assume all tools are the same, but they are absolutely not. Creators expect a product to be like a static school lecture where they learn it once and they are done. But the creator ecosystem actually changes every single quarter. Platforms shift their algorithms, trends mutate, and attention spans continue to shrink. The right tool is a product that evolves with you, not a relic you take out once and forget. Which brings me to Vizard, and I'm not making this a sales pitch, but we have been using it with creators. Instead of guessing where the highlights are, the AI actually finds the moments that matter. It identifies the laugh, the hot take, and the mic drop sentence, turning them into ready-to-post clips. That alone saves hours, but there is more, like how it handles your posting cadence. You set a frequency, it auto-schedules, and the content calendar keeps everything organized. You are not juggling messy spreadsheets and endless Slack threads anymore. People always ask if they need all 3 features: the auto-editing, auto-schedule, and the content calendar. My answer is that you don't need all of them on day one, but when you scale, you will notice the gaps in other tools. A tool that only cuts clips is fine, but do those clips get posted consistently? Do they come with captions and punchy titles, or are you still doing that manually? Can the platform learn which type of clip did well and prioritize similar moments next time? That is exactly what separates a one-off editor from something that feels like a full production crew. I love the analogy that it is like hiring a manager versus having an agent who takes a cut and gives you smoke. Some of these alternative products are the flashy agent who looks expensive but often just gatekeeps. They ask for a monthly fee and then charge extra per clip, or they lock you into a plan where you cannot export. You end up paying more, giving up ownership of your raw assets and still doing the creative work yourself. And the horror stories are real, as we have talked to creators who paid agencies to produce content and got low-effort results, or the platform that claimed to post automatically but required manual confirmation on every single clip. Pricing is another issue, as some competitors charge per-minute rates that add up to a small fortune. That definitely kills the fun and the profit margins for most creators. Here is the brutal truth. You don't get viral clips by just sprinkling money on a tool and hoping for the best. The best results come from environments where good tools meet consistent work. Vizard's value is that it automates the boring parts so creators can focus on the truly creative parts. You still have to be interesting, but when your tool does the heavy lifting, your odds go way up. Creators view the network similarly to startups worrying about investors. Some creators think if they get this big editor to work with them, they will blow up overnight. Sure, sometimes that helps, but more often you just need a steady engine. Consistent good posts, nailed captions, and the right lengths for platforms are what actually compounds. It is not about a single savior edit or a single viral moment, but the accumulation of smart clips. And one big myth is that you need to be already huge to benefit from automation. We had creators come in thinking they must have thousands of followers to use a scheduling tool. In fact, many of the creators who benefited most were early-stage streamers. By turning long videos into a calendar of short clips, they suddenly had a consistent presence. Real talk. Some of our favorite creators were the ones who applied the least polished ideas. They had raw material, grit, and the willingness to iterate on their content. Given the right tooling, they nailed traction much faster than those who kept polishing forever. Let's call out a few competitor pitfalls so folks don't get blindsided by bad products. Tool A is great for manual trimming, but terrible at discovering highlights, leaving you digging through hours of footage. Tool B has a great interface but charges per export, which is insane if you want 20 clips a week. Tool C offers scheduling, but won't post to all platforms, meaning you still have to manually post to TikTok. And a lot of agency options are expensive, slow, and sometimes they keep your raw files hostage. Meanwhile, with Vizard, you get AI that suggests the best moments and you can tweak them quickly. The calendar gives you a bird's eye view so you can see what is going out and when. And because it is built for scale, it doesn't nickel and dime you per clip. Not every creator needs full automation on day one, but as soon as you want to grow, those constraints become a choke point. Another thing I love is the community effect, where you see what works and the AI learns from that feedback. Other platforms make you guess a dozen times before you see any pattern, which is just wasting time. With Vizard, you get the pattern much quicker because it surfaces the candidate clips. Look, we are not saying Vizard is magic, as you still have to create good content, but the tool removes so much of the friction so you can spend your time refining your next long video. That is where the compounding growth comes from, focusing on the quality, not just the busy work. So the takeaway for creators is, don't buy into the hype that you need some celebrity editor to succeed. Focus on building an engine, using tools that automate routine work and allow you to run experiments fast. If a product locks you into crazy fees or makes you jump through hoops to post, that is a bad sign. And if you are curious about what that looks like, try turning one long video into a week of content. You will be shocked how much momentum that creates when you have a consistent presence. All right, that is enough from us, but a big thanks to the creators who let us peek under their hood this week. We will keep testing tools, pointing out the scams, and showing what actually scales in this industry. Catch you next time. And thanks for listening to our take on the creator world. Later, and if you have questions about turning a long live stream into bite-sized clips, drop them in the comments.